evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I am Christian Alexander. This is Christian in Focus. This is episode 8. Consistency, right? Consistency. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing all right? I hope so. I hope so. I got me some mullein and elderberry tea in the Yeti. It's quite delicious with a little agave nectar. You know what I mean? Keeping it healthy, keeping it light. Mullein is good to pull any mucus out your chest. Elderberry is good for immunity. Immunity something. I don't know, but it's delicious and it is good for your body. If you smoke, mullein helps to pull all of the phlegm and stuff out of your lungs and things like that. Help you to get clear. Look it up. Mullein and elderberry. I put it in the pink Yeti today. I got the pink Yeti, because I'm talking about feminism, right? The title of today's show. I've never had a title for a show, but I'm trying something different now. I'm trying something different. The title for today's show is Manhood, Money, and the Machine, right? I've been doing some reading, y'all. I read, some good brothers told me to read, damn, what's the name of that book? The Superior Man, right? So I read The Superior Man. It's a short read. I thought it was a good book. And it got me thinking, about how I show up in the world. Hold on. It got me thinking about how I show up in the world, right? Like as a man, right? What is manhood to me? What does that look like? How do I project that to other people? Things like that. And then I went to a coffee shop to do some work, and I met this sister named Mimi, who was studying. I'm not gonna chop it up, but she's gonna be on the pod next Thursday. She's gonna tell y'all, but it has to do with like gender and identity. And she goes to Rice, bright sister. Um, and I was telling her what I was reading, and she was like, "Oh shit, that sounded a little problematic." And I'm like, I didn't think that a Superior Man was a problematic read. I didn't think it was pushing anything unhealthy or anything like that. I mean, if y'all have read it, let me know. Roll it up. Okay, Tara, roll it. Okay, y'all, check the chat. Tara got some holistic roll up tips in there for y'all, to help you, with your temple. But as I go back to my story, so I didn't think that the Superior Man was anything that was problematic, right? I didn't think that it was something that would be harmful to women. I thought it would be, I think that it was something that would be helpful to men, young men, old men, and the like, right? So she suggested that I read Bell Hooks, and she suggested that I read Will to Change by Bell Hooks, right? And The Will to Change, Men, Masculinity, and Love, and it's by Bell Hooks. Um, and it was a phenomenal read. It definitely challenged a lot of what I was thinking. A lot of things that I have been taught or conditioned over the years through media, family, friends, things like that about about manhood, about patriarchy, about feminism, and things like that. I've had some really interesting discussions on my Facebook feed about feminism. Y'all can go on there. I'll pull it up a little bit later and show y'all some of the discussion that we was having and whatnot. Just to get y'all warmed up for what we got going on. But I did tell you we was gonna be doing things differently today, right? So I put out an ask. If those of you who do not know, I've always been a community advocate. Pro-black. Let's uplift the community. Political scientist, political advocate, all of that stuff. I'm still working on how to describe it to people. Like when people say, like, "What do you do?" Right? But I do things and I help people, and I'm here for Black people. But before I got into like the more professional space, I was a rapper. Everybody used to call me Japan. I love music. I come from a very musical family. My mom, my aunties, like my grandpa. I don't know if he could sing, but like my great uncles and everybody, they all could sing. Grew up in Virginia in a church called New Hope. Some of you know I went to the House of Prayer growing up. So grew up, listening to a diverse array of music. Got into music myself, and got a lot of family in music. You can look up people in my family every day doing big, big things, right? Shout out to C Spikes. So I decided I was going to incorporate that part of my life into the show. Now it's not my music, but I have put out a back call to artists in the ethos for them to send me their music, and every Thursday when I'm on the show, we gonna listen to what they got going on. And so graciously, one of my favorite artists in the whole wide world just dropped some new music. My brother, my good friend, Mr. Tim Woods. If you don't know about Tim Woods, you need to know about Tim Woods. The brother is an amazing artist. I can't even describe the genre. It just feel good. You know what I mean? Like he makes music that you can rave to, you can ride to, you can think about stuff. He's a poet, first and foremost, and he took that poetry and he put it to beats. Like H-Town's Gil Scott Heron, if you will. You know what I mean? And he got a new song called The Funk. And I'm going to preview it here with y'all now. The newest track by Tim Woods.
Gonna get you a liberty whip for the funk, 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 the funk. Get you a liberty whip for the funk, 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 the funk. Quit tripping and get you a hit of the a skunk, a dump, or something going stale. Assumptions ain't quite hitting it on the nail. Something in the air. The funk that's on me ain't one you could smell. Hold up. Hold ya. Keep your hand. Wave it back and wear it. No one. I saw. Wherever the wind. Just want you to know the funk is alive and well. Gonna get you a liberty whip for the funk, 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 the funk. Get you a liberty whip for the funk, 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 the funk. Quit tripping and get you a hit of the.
Yeah, that was all right. That was Tim Woods with The Funk, if this was a late night radio show, I go, you are now listening to the Love Train. We keeping it funky. Yeah, man, that was my boy Tim Woods. We got another track from him later on in the show. But I'm gonna keep on moving, I'm gonna keep on grooving. But so, all right, back to bell hooks, back to the will to change, right? Back to feminism, back to life. So I decided that, I wanted to find some examples of, so in the book, right, she was saying a lot of the things that men do, right? Like it's learned behavior, and it is something that we are conditioned to believe, like as we grow older, right? Through interactions with our male peers and things like that. So the way that we see manhood is really something that is unwritten. It's something that we just witnessed other people do, right? But it's not something that we had cognitive thought for ourselves to say, well, like this is how it works for me, right? Like for a lot of us, we seen other people do it and then like we copied that. Like that's just how things go, right? Like that's how children learn. That's how people learn. Like you read things, you absorb the information, you kind of make your version of it, but for the most part, like we follow in the footsteps of like other people. And so like in reading it, the first thing that stuck out to me was there were so many people talking about how like they hate their dads. they was like, like, or they loved him but they hated him, like, or like he never was like warm enough to show them no real love, like they didn't hug or like anything like that, and that was like baffling to me because I come from a place of like love, like an abundance of love, like everybody hugging, everybody singing. You know what I'm saying? The men is hugging the kids and stuff like that. It ain't no like weird shit or nothing like that. It's a lot of love going on. And in one of the stories, the lady was saying like when her daddy had a heart attack like in the garden, and when he fell down, that was the first time that she was able to touch his body. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, and like it was another guy, like he was saying that like he had this relief when his daddy died because he wouldn't be burdened by his expectation of him no more. And like that really, I ain't gonna lie, excuse my language, y'all, that fucked me up. Like I don't know, like, my mom and my real dad wasn't together. My mom married a wonderful man who came in and raised me and my little brother. That's my daddy. Like, I love him to death. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro always showed us love. Bro always told us that he cared. You know what I mean? Like, like, my daddy ain't like, you know, no real, like, I'm going to cry affectionate. Like, he a man's man. You know what I mean? But, like, he ain't, like, he not somebody that won't show you how he feel about you, right? Like, and we feel like the things that happen in our lives are going on in other people's lives until you are able to like look into their front room window and see how it's going on in their life. You never really know like what those people are going through. And so when I'm reading this book and I'm thinking about my experience with my father, and then like even the experience that I had with my real father when we met each other. And I ain't know, bro. I couldn't remember what he looked like. You know what I mean? I had no idea. But in Times Square, like on a school field trip, I'm in New York. I call him on the phone, like I'm here. I see him, like it's like a biological thing. I'm like, that's my daddy. You know what I mean? We connected. Like it was scientific for real. Like, but I remember the first time, like that boy kissed me on my forehead. Man, I was like, what is going on here? Like, this is so strange. Like, what is happening right now? Like, what? Like, men don't do that, right? Like, just remember me saying that. Men don't do that, right? Like, so going back to the book, she is challenging all of these thoughts that I had about like what men do. Like, I can even go to the young man. I don't know if he played quarterback or he played in the NFL or whatever the case may be, but he got fingernail polish on his hands. And I could go back to my homegirl Joy, us talking about how black men, we don't really get the freedom to just be, right? Like you'll go to a school that's multicultural and it's like golf kids in there and them white boys got on fingernail polish and all of that stuff. And like they not getting ridiculed and none of that. But let a YN put some fingernail polish on, he gay, he this, he that, he a disgrace, he this, he that, because like men don't do that. You know what I mean? Like just remember me saying that. Men don't do that. So like we are constantly being put in these boxes about like what men do and what women do, right? Because the author of this book, she is expounding on how feminism is a school of thought, not only for the liberation of the woman, but also for the liberation of humanity from a system that doesn't necessarily serve us and is causing more harm than hurt. Like, right? So, like, remember the whole this not what men do thing, right? So, boom. So I'm on the, you know what I mean? I'm in the news, right? I don't know. Have y'all seen, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Hold up. What's his name? Todd Lyons, right? Todd Lyons said that he wanted to, here we go. So Todd Lyons said that he wanted a deportation process like Amazon Prime, but with human beings. Let me make sure that the sound is on so y'all can hear this. Let me know in the comments. If you can't hear it, let me know.
Yes, sir. How many times has Amazon Prime shot a nurse?
Let me start it over.
Last year you said in Phoenix at the Border Security Expo that you wanted to see a deportation process that was like, quote, Amazon Prime, but with human beings. Mr. Lyons, how many times has Amazon Prime shot a mom 3 times in the face?
None, sir. But you're also...
It's the square root of 0. That's right.
Yes, sir.
How many times has Amazon Prime shot a nurse 10 times in the back?
None.
How many times has Amazon Prime dragged a woman out of her car by her hair and then dragged her down the street?
None.
How many ICE agents have been fired for their conduct under your leadership?
Sir, I can get you that data. I'll get that back to you.
Is it more than one?
I'm not going to speak about personnel actions, but I'll get you that data.
Can you tell us that at least, God, I hope at least one person has been fired for their conduct since these operations have begun? Are you telling us you can't even say one person's been fired?
Sir, I'm not going to talk about personnel actions, but we will get back to you.
But 2 people have been killed so far. Is that right? A nurse named Freddie and a mom named Good. 2 people have been killed so far.
Yes, sir.
So, one might say, Christian, what does this have to do with feminism? What does this have to do with that? What does one have to do with the other? Well, I'm glad you asked. This right here is textbook patriarchal lie, deny, hold up the system. Right? First of all, this dude is talking about people like they're things. They don't even have real value to him. They're just something to be moved around. He want to deport them like packages going out of a shipping facility back to where he feel like they came from. Like, but where is the feeling there, bro? Like, I never really understood, I never really understood war, right? Because this is war. Like, it's like, whether you want to classify it as war or not, like, this is war. Like, they're warring on these people. And I've never understood war. Like, why are we fighting? What's the point of this fight right now? Like, because you got something I want, like, we can't share. I don't got something that you want. Like, maybe I'm being unrealistic, right? I don't think so. I don't think we have to fight, right? Anytime I ever fought anybody, it was dumb. For real, it was dumb. It was the dumbest thing I'd ever done. I got sweaty. I was bleeding. Stuff was hurting. It wasn't fun. I'm all up on this other man. Like, this is dumb as hell. Like, so I imagine it is even more many to go to somebody else's home and beat them up and shoot at them and be running around sweating, tired. Like, it's insane. So the mentality of like a person who would dehumanize someone to the point where they are a thing, like that has to, like from what Bell Hooks said, it is something inside of that kind of man that is unhealed. Because if this person is truly a follower of Jesus, I'm sure he go places and tell people he a Christian. Jesus wouldn't get down like that. Like, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Jesus would get down like that. Like Amazon Prime products, like that's crazy. Like it's like there's no humanity there, like at all, right? No humanity. Let's keep going. Y'all seen these fools? Yo. Yo. They old as hell. Like, back to my point, right? Warring. This is patriarchal. That's patriarchy at its finest. Like, these, I know they got to be at least 50 something, 51, 52, 55, 50 something, bro. Like, and they still out here having stick measuring contests, bro. Acting foolish, bro, in first class. Acting foolish. Like, this is like, I gotta demand my respect. This is like, I gotta show you. You know what I mean? This go back to the schoolyard. Like, it's insane, bro. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I would always, and this frame of thought predates the book. I've never really understood that kind of regression. Never really understood that. Like, what's the root of it? Like, why do people perpetuate it? Like, why is it like that? Never really understood that kind of regression. Like, I've been severely angry, but like I've always been cognitive enough to be like, I'm tripping. Now, if my life is severely in danger, then we gotta go there. But like in any situation that I have had similar to the one that I just showed on the screen, like my life was severely in danger. I didn't have to do that. I could have left. Just like he could have left. Or he could have said, right, like, hey, these people are bothering me. I'd like to be moved. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Okay, who cares that the internet is going to ridicule you for you not wanting to be in a toxic situation? But like, what I think that speaks volumes to like how hurt other people are, because if you got a grandstand for strangers and whatever, however many eyes are gonna see you online, like, and that's like your validation, like you being able to like maintain this like dominance in this foolish situation, like I think it's beneath us. Like, and somebody can say, well, I ain't soft, I ain't no punk. Like, but, you look like a fool. Like, well, I ain't no fool, but you look like one. Like, you playing yourself right now. Like, for what? For what? For nothing. For nothing. Like, for nothing at all. Like, and in, like, so in going back to the book, you know what I mean? Like, it was, said, like, a lot of the times the information that we get as young men is you need to work, provide, and die. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like some bullshit. Like, go to work, provide, and die. If that sounds like the life that you imagined when you were 7 years old, standing in front of the TV, while eating Cheerios or Fruit Loops, you were a shitty imaginative kid, and I feel sorry for you. I feel terrible for you, actually. No one imagined that for themselves. I was telling somebody this other day, I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't grow up to do chores, bro. I didn't grow up to have to go cut my grass. I didn't grow up to have to go wash my own dishes. I didn't grow up for that, bro. Like, I didn't want to do that when I was a kid. So, like, why, as an adult, am I going to put myself in a situation to do things that I don't want to do? Like, if I can figure out how to do those things as the least times possible throughout a week, month, a year, why wouldn't I do that? Why would I subscribe myself to something I don't want to participate in? That is insane. Like, if you don't want to do it, like, don't do it, bro. Like, don't let anybody tell you, like, this how you supposed to behave in life. In your life. The one life that you get. The one life that you get to live. Somebody else get to tell you how you get to wear your hair, how you get to wear your nails, what shoes you get to wear, who you get to have sex with. They get to tell you that. And they get to justify that by telling you that the Lord said, or whatever, whoever said. Now they get to put you in a box when the Lord probably ain't even say that. Like, there's something that the Lord said, don't come for me, don't come for me. I'm not saying the Lord said live willy-nilly. Not saying that at all. But what I am saying is a lot of stuff that people be prescribing to people, the Lord didn't say. because the prescription fits the medicine list of the patriarchal structure. That's a bar. That's a bar. That's a bar, right? You know what I mean? Like, so. That's why I got my pink Yeti. Because real men wear pink. You know what I mean? Like, we wear it. And we look good in it. Right? Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna take a point of privilege right now. If you can, notice the QR code in the corner. Okay? If you are looking for a job here in Houston, Texas during this campaign season, please join our team at Ground Game Staffing. We are hiring for field representatives, campaign management, district directors, call center representatives, and the like. Please send your CV into info@groundgamestaffing.com if you are looking for employment this political season. Back to your regular scheduled programming. All right, so going back to, like my real life examples of, patriarchy, like in motion, because I'm excited to get to this Facebook thread, like where, y'all remember Ryan from last week. When Kathleen edits this, she's going to put like Ryan in here somewhere. It's going to look real cool. It's going to go, whack. So Ryan and I, and another one of the homies, Kevin, Kevin, commented on my post when I said feminism might be for men too. So we're going to go through that. Did y'all see, and I know I got to bring this up. This is crazy. So Howard Lutnick, originally said he didn't know, he met Epstein, and after he met him, he had like an icky feeling about bro, and he never saw him again. But that was a lie, right? It was a complete lie. And just watch this. I moved to a house next door to him in New York, right? And I met him then. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. 2 times. And that is none for 6 years. So 6 years later, I met him, and then a year and a half after that, I met him, and never again. Probably the total, and you've seen all of these documents, of these millions and millions of documents, there may be 10 emails connecting me with him, probably about 10 emails connecting me with him over a 14-year period. Can y'all hear this? Somebody give me some feedback. Anybody, can y'all hear this? If I don't see a no, I'm going to keep playing it. Well, forget all that. It don't matter. The point of this is, right, so Howard Lutnick lied about knowing Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the Jeffrey Epstein case, if that's not a case of abuse of patriarchal power, I don't know what is. I don't know what it is. This guy, he took his wife and his kids to bro house. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you take your wife and your children to dude's house? I know you know what's happening over there. You gonna take your kids over there? To freaking Jeff house? Why would you do that? Like, why? Like, what's going on? Is the deal? Is it for the deal? Right? Like going back to work, provide, die. Is it for the deal? Is it that big a deal? This what we doing? Like, I do not think that putting yourself and your loved ones in danger is worth the bread. Ooh, I got a little perspiration. I don't think it's worth the bread. And I think it's a part of the lie that we are told as men as to like how we supposed to show up in the world. And I don't think that men as rich as powerful as Howard Lutnick are exempt from this type of oppression. Like, as you can see, he acting like a total complete fucking nut on TV. He gonna lie. Well, I ain't no Freaky Jeff. But we know you know Freaky Jeff. You took your people to Freaky Jeff house. Like, but that's another part of the patriarchal system is not being able to keep it real with yourself because you gotta perform. Because you're not allowed as a man to just be whoever it is you decided to be. So you can't really be honest with everybody around you because you have to put on this performance so that people will accept you into the patriarchal fold. So you're not a weirdo. People don't call you gay or whatever it is that they're going to insult you with because they feel like you are different from them. It's really sad. Like, and I've only read one of this lady books. But like, when I used to hear women be like, I'm really sad for men. Like, and I feel that because as a man who comes from a place of love, like when I meet, other brothers, you know what I'm saying? And when I say brothers, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about white dudes, like Asian guys, like everybody. When they tell me like that they didn't get hugged and they didn't get kissed and people didn't tell them that they love them and stuff like that, like my heart goes out to them people, man, because love is medicine, love is life, love is feeling, love is healing. Like, and if people aren't getting it in healthy doses, they don't know how to give it in healthy doses. Like, and whatever it is they're getting in healthy doses, they only know how to replicate that. And whatever the opposite of love is, if you getting that all the time, I know that's not making you feel good. And a lot of men, like, when you talk to the young men, is you got to be hard on them. You got to treat them like this. You got to do them like that. Talk to them hard. Like, tell them, like, stop crying. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, but at such a young age, like, boys is conditioned to not feel nothing. Like, you just, like, don't feel nothing. Because if you feel something, like, that's you a punk or something. Like, so don't feel. Don't be. Like, be like everybody else. All the little gray houses on the street. Paint you a little gray house on the street. Like, do that. Be like everybody else. Or why you gotta be weird? Different, right? You know what I mean? Like, why not, though? Like, why not? And it used to baffle me to see, like, androgynous people like Prince. Or even to go all the way back in the day and see, like, that them boys used to wear crop tops and perms and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, the cognitive dissonance is crazy because I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s baby. So, like, you know what I mean? We wearing, lugs. I'm from Virginia. Lugs, Timbs. We got the baggy pants, white in my white tee. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody dressing like that. That's crazy. But as you see how, like, style and fashion has changed and progressed, like, over the years, like, for men, like, men used to dress a lot more androgynous. Everybody used to dress like Prince. Like, but Men, like, but today, like, you know, men don't do that. Like, men don't do that, right? Like, so even if you not gay, if you pop out wearing something like the Isley brothers used to wear back in the day, they gonna come at you crazy and they gonna disrespect you or they gonna talk about you a little bit because men don't do that. But what if that's just his style of dress? Like, I remember when I went to California, I'm a military brat. For all of you, for all of those who don't know, I'm a military brat, and I went to, you know, shout out Sarah High School in San Diego, California. Went to Sarah for a couple of years, and I remember I moved there from Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, and in the South, they rank, like, right, you know what I'm saying, like, especially in Jacksonville, you gonna get rolled on if you if you not coming the right way. Somebody's gonna let you know. Now, I don't know why them Negroes feel so entitled to critique your clothes. Like, but you will be victim to public humiliation if you are not dressed well. Let's just say that, right? Now, when I went to California, I remember, like, I was with one of my other friends, he's from the South too, and we seen somebody that was dressed pretty androgynously. And we started making fun of him, and somebody came up to me and tapped me on my shoulder and say, "Hey, bro, why you doing that?" And I went, well, you know, I had something ready, but then when I thought about it, I'm like, you know, I don't know. It's a little mean. Maybe you should just leave him alone, right? But it was a part of that thinking of like what men do versus what women do and how we're supposed to show up in the world and what, you know, what boxes we belong in. And now more than ever, those boxes are starting to look like Lego boxes. Like, cause I know what I do, you know, and that works for me. But you know, the older I get, I mean, I feel like I've always been like this. And if you know anybody that knows me, they'll tell you I've always been pro freedom, like live your life, whatever that is for you, however that feels for you, like live your life. Just, you know what I'm saying, live it in a positive way, in a free way, like, you know, in the way that best suits like who you are as a person. And reading this book opened my eyes to one, women struggle trying to do that, right? Just being themselves. And throughout history, men saying, I don't give a fuck who you are. You're going to be who I want you to be. And for the longest, especially women of color, having to shrink themselves down to something that they don't even recognize anymore because men are telling them, I don't give a fuck about who you are. I don't give a fuck about how you feel. You're going to do what I want you to do. It didn't matter if it was her daddy, if it was her uncle, her grandpa, her pastor. All of them was telling them how big to be. And they was glorifying them for being small. And I got a 4-year-old daughter. And when I think about it in that context, I never let nobody do that to my baby. I would never. No. I'm gonna cry. Like I would never. Like, and like the cognitive dissonance is real. Like, and I really hope other men hear me. Like, you know, like if you are a father to a little girl, when you look at that little girl, and if you tell her that she can be whatever she wanna be, bro, but then you on the back end tell her that she gotta be whatever it is you think she should be, like you need to check yourself, bro, and stop lying to that baby. Because that's what's happening. And the reason why, and I'm gonna pull it up, I'm saying feminism might be for men too, because what I'm saying here describing is just the need to be free. What David say? I just got to be me. You know what I mean? Like, I just gotta do that. You know what I mean? Like, and as a man, as a man, you know what I'm saying, who is through hell or high water gonna do what he wanna do. And you know me, you know I'm gonna do what I wanna do when I wanna do it, how I wanna do it, my way. And somebody who is always striving to be able to like be an individual. Like, I can't sit here and say that I can't identify with the struggle of a person that is just trying to live their life. And that is essentially that's the point of the book, is if everybody stopped trying to dominate everything all the time, people could just be free. And the domination comes from the top down, right? Like the people who control everything, they're rich white men. Just like all the other systems that we have in America and in the capitalistic society, these systems, you know what I'm saying, the colonization and imperialism was mainly perpetuated by rich white men. And, let me pull it up. Right? So, with that being said, right, like it is a system set up to be able to keep you in a place, to be able to do things that would benefit everybody, right? Like, so this the post right here. So go on my Facebook, check it out, read all the comments. Me and Ryan was going back and forth. Ryan talking about who should be doing what God ordained, all that other stuff. I'm not saying that I don't, what I'm saying is everybody need to be able to be free. And a lot of the things that he was saying, the main thing for both of the anti-comments was don't let them brainwash you. But I'm not being brainwashed. I mean, if you listen to me right now, I'm not saying anything nuts. I'm not bashing men. I'm actually trying to liberate the homies, for real. I want you to be able to feel, show up as like your full self, like every day, all day. Like, and not feel like you can't receive love, right? Like going back to when I said my dad kissed me on the forehead, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, oh my God, is this gay or something? Like, what the fuck? But like, that's my daddy. Like, that's just him saying, like, bro, I love you. And it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I had to learn that, right? Like, that's something that I had to learn. But it's, if I can learn, to unlearn the things that I have been perpetuating that may be oppressive to other people, male and or female, then I think that it is my responsibility to teach y'all, like, hey, look what I found out. This is what I found out. What I found out is men suck. No, I'm just kidding. But we do have a lot of learning to do. We got a lot of learning to do. And man, love on your people, dog. Love on your sons. Let them cry. Let them feel. Let them be who they want to be. Because we're going to have a lot less war. Because these people don't know how to feel their feelings. And they got a lot of pent up rage. And they feel away. Like they really feel away. So like, don't, that's why you got those dudes in the room on the keyboard, clicking and clacking away. Oh, my bad, y'all. I don't even know what I did. But yeah, that's why you got all of them them weird dudes. Like in the they just mad, they repressed, they mad at their mom because moms perpetuate it too. Like women perpetuate patriarchy too. It's not just a man thing; it's a cultural thing. It's something that we learn. That like it's that's a way of life. Like it's and for a man, your mama your first love. So if she treats you like shit, like how you gonna see other women? So if you teaching your son like how not to feel, how not to express his emotions, how not to communicate on a high level emotionally and stuff like that, he might hurt somebody. Like, and it's your responsibility to like allow him. What's up, bro? It's your responsibility to allow him to feel his feelings, be his authentic self. Like whether you like it or not. Like they kids, they gonna do stuff you don't like, but you can't control them. You can't put them in a box. Same way that them people shouldn't have tried to control you. Like you got a choice. You got a choice who you want to be in this life. You got a choice how you gonna show up in this life. Like you have a choice. Like don't let nobody take that choice from you, bro. Like you can be whoever it is you want to be. The same like the shit they told you. Like well, as far as the economy is concerned, that was a lie. But like in this life, you can be whoever you want to be. Your imagination is a powerful thing. Like, if you can think it, you can do it. Just put a little motion behind it, and it's gonna be all right. But like that same frame of mind is the same frame of mind that we got to be able to give our kids, and you got to lead with love. And I implore anybody to please go read that book, man. It's called The Will to Change by Bell Hooks. If you a dude and you like stuck in your ways, and you know what I mean, like I'm stuck in my ways. That's why I'm sitting here talking to y'all. That's why I'm reading. And I appreciate that sister for putting me on game because I learned a lot about myself, how I love, how I show up, like for real, like, how I've hurt people. You know what I mean? Like I've really had to look in the mirror, like reading both of them books for real, The Way of the Superior Man and reading The Will to Change by Bill Hooks. I really had to look myself in the mirror and ask myself, like, how am I showing up? Like, as a man, like, as a human being, like, you know what I mean? Like, what am I teaching those around me? How am I impacting those people around me? Like, with my presence and with my power. And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, as men in this ever-changing world, the way that things are changing for us, you feel me? The social structure is different, brothers. It's different. Women don't need you the same way they needed you before, dog. How you gonna cope with that? How you gonna cope with that? You gotta play a different role on the team, bro? Are you really a team player? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you gonna like, Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean? Like just fuss and bitch because you can't be the dominator right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got laid off and she making all the bread. How you gonna handle that? How you gonna handle that? Like, what, like, that's life right now. You gonna let that affect like who you are and your self-worth? Is your self-worth tied to your pocketbook, bro? Is your self-worth tied to your purse? It shouldn't be. You more than that dollar that you making. Now don't get me wrong. You need to go get you some paper, brothers. Go get you some paper. I'm not sitting here telling you to be a bum. But what I'm sitting here telling you is your self-worth should not be measured by your income. You feel me? If you got a goal, you should stick to it. You should be diligent. You should be faithful. You know what I mean? Like you should be hopeful. Like that the things that you are trying to bring into the world, you can bring it to the world. Because you got the spirit of creation in you. You feel me? But if things don't go your way and you got a partner that you got to lean on, how are you going to behave now that the social structure does not say that women stay at home in the kitchen and you go out there and you cook, you kill, and bring home the bacon? What if you ain't got no bacon to bring home? Like, that's what she's talking about. Like, and a lot of men are having a hard time coping with that reality right now. It's a tough reality. We all grew up thinking we was going to be like Grandpa Jim, getting the plate brought to you and stuff like that. But now grandma got to go to work, fam. And if you ain't bringing home the bacon like that, what you want to do? Go to work and then come home and go back to work while you sit on the couch? You think you're going to get something? Come on, fam. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Women expensive. Okay? Like, if you can't afford her, bro, avoid her. That's a bar. That's a bar, right? That's a bar. Anyway, so I'm finna get off my high horse. Again, there's a QR code in the my left, your right, right? Yeah, my left, your right. Thank you, Darrell. If you are looking for gainful employment, my staffing company is looking for people to work this campaign season to the next. Please scan the QR code, share this video with your family and friends. If you know anybody looking for some gainful employment, please tell them to reach out to me so that we can find them a suitor to help them pay their bills. So, before I get on up out of here, I like to thank everybody who commented. Thank everybody who was watching. I really hope y'all like learned something from this. You know what I mean? Like, cause I've been learning. Next week, the person who inspired me to read this book and who, you know what I'm saying, led me down this journey, she will be on, Miss Mimi. I'm excited for you all to meet her, and we're going to continue this conversation. Excited to hear her perspective. If there's anything that y'all would like me to talk about or anybody that you would like me to talk to, you know, please send me like a DM or whatever the case may be. That would be great. My boy Tim sent me 2 tracks, right? 2 tracks. So, you know, before we get on about here, I was going to freestyle. I might freestyle when this go off. I got this Jay-Z beat loaded up. I might give y'all some of that old school pan. Who knows? But for right now, this is Tim Woods' Bench Warmer. You know what I mean? Like, you know, little punk rock beezy, right? You know what I mean? Tim Woods, Bench Warmer.
Now I'm a bench warmer. Wonder if something I said was out of bounds. Yes, I'm a bench warmer. She said she ain't finna play this game with me right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. You know you always win, and I lose over and over again. When this honeymoon subsides, there is still a sun that shines. In the end, I know that we both can win. And no matter how it seems, I'm promising. Can't imagine ever playing for a different team. I'm dedicated to the dream. How you mean? As of last season, I didn't bring you home a ring. Can't argue with that. I've been putting up stats. Know I had the black like I'm playing for the swag. It's a blowout if it's me against your back. This would be a fact if you would just relax. Damn. Now I'm a bench warmer. Wonder if something I said was out of bounds. Yes, I'm a bench warmer. She said she ain't finna play this game with me right now. Right now. Right now. Right now.
That was my boy, Tim Woods, at The Real Tim Woods on our socials. Do it right now. Follow that boy. He's an amazing artist. I can't wait to see what else he come up with. It's a pleasure. It's an honor and a pleasure to know him And all my homies, I got some homies who, man, say, Rocky, send me that music, bro. Send me that through the phone. Everybody say they on. Go ahead, send me that through the phone. Yeah. So, you know, I'm hoping next week Rocky Banks will be my featured artist. That's why I'm saying it on the podcast right now, so I can send you this clip and, you know, put a little pressure on you to send me them files. You said you were gonna send me earlier today. Instead, I got them files, player. Send me them files. What DJ Khaled say? Tracks is in. I don't know. I don't really like him. I don't really like him because we the best. I ain't really got much else to talk about. You know, I really appreciate y'all. It's my new outro music, you feel me? It's real jazzy. I wonder if they gonna hit me with the copyright. I've been sitting here talking tonight, sipping on tea, and I appreciate you chilling with me. I'm from the V. All right, I'm done. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. You know what I'm saying? Continue to fight for democracy. Shout out to Fight for Democracy. Thank you for the cool hat. My name is Christian Alexander, formerly known as Pan. And I'm out.
Come get you a liberty whip for the phone, the phone, the phone, the phone.